Oh God. Yep, we're really doing this. Today we're going to talk about the Chris from MrBeast situation. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who MrBeast is. I'll give you a recap on what's going on if you're actually one of the few people who haven't heard about this, which is really surprising if you haven't. But essentially, MrBeast is a massive YouTube channel. He gets in controversy all the time for pretty silly things most of the time. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not. But one of these things that his whole brand, I guess, has been in controversy for is one of the main people that are on the MrBeast channel. He's in almost every single video. He started dressing like a female recently. And if you're anything like me, I'm just going to give you my take. I do not give a single fuck what people dress like, what they act like. Like, it really doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't know why people are so pressed about this, but yeah, I mean, that's all the controversy. He just started dressing like a woman, and people are going crazy about it on Twitter. Like this tweet right here with about 5,000 retweets and 130,000 likes saying, "Bro, what the fuck happened?" Showing a picture of Chris from a couple years ago where I suppose he looked manly, and showing him in one of MrBeast's most recent videos where, you know, he looks significantly different. Chris responded to this saying HRT, and it's only been 2 months. Now, if you're anything like me, you have no idea what HRT is, so I just looked at the replies, and HRT is hormone replacement therapy, so I think that means he's on like estrogen. And again, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that big of a fucking deal. If he wants to dress like a woman, he can dress like a woman. If he wants to take estrogen, he can. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. I don't understand why there's so much controversy around it. And then Sneeko made this tweet as well. This is like a big thing. Like, I've seen videos randomly on TikTok about Chris. I see it all the time on Twitter. Like, people are very disgusted by this. Yeah, which is just crazy to me, but people are very disgusted by this. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what the hell are you doing, dude? This is crazy." So yeah, Sneeko made a tweet, and if you're unaware, Sneeko is a guy that used to work for MrBeast, and basically Sneeko said from the time that he worked with Chris was he said, I believe it was something along the lines of a tow truck driving, AR slinging, super manly man or something like that. And Sneeko also said that Chris used to say the N-word, which is apparently really cool and manly. I don't know why he said that, but he said Chris from MrBeast is now a trans woman. We need to approach this delusion with empathy. #love speech. This puppy did fucking numbers. It has 70,000 likes, 7,000 retweets, and 20 million views. And also in response to that tweet, this guy uploaded a picture of Chris and his son, saying that Chris also has a son and a wife. This is the most saddest picture of all time. All right, first of all, I gotta do some grammar policing. That is not correct grammar. You do not say most saddest. You say most sad, or instead you say the saddest. All right, but I'm getting sidetracked. I don't understand how you can look at this picture and say that it's sad. I mean, the kid's obviously very happy, and Chris is as well. So, like, again, this is my whole point of the video. Who cares? Like, I don't know what people think is going to happen if I don't even think that Chris is a trans woman. I think he just likes, you know, dressing up like a woman. I think he's like fine with being a guy. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I saw one of his close friends say that he's not even like a trans woman. He just likes dressing up like that. So, I mean, I don't know why people are saying that, but anyway, they are. And yeah, I think people have like this idea in their head where if there is a man who, you know, does stuff out of the norm per se, or a woman that does stuff out of the norm, like let's go crazy here. I don't think Chris is transgender, but let's say he is. Let's say Chris has a son and he's transgender and wants to be fully woman, take a shit ton of estrogen, you know what I mean? Cut the thing off and fully transform. I don't know the right word really to say. I'll say transition. Sure. Fully transition into a woman. While that is out of the norm for sure, I will not deny that. Why, again, does it really matter? I mean, one thing that I've never understood is, do people think when, you know, people like Chris, if he transitioned into a woman, would he start like being like, you know, a pedophile or something? Like, I really don't understand why people think it's really sad for the child's father to be like different, you know what I mean? Like, I can give you a list of about 1,000 serial killers who had cis, which I know a lot of people don't know what that means. Cis is like a man that identifies as a man, a female who identifies as a female. I know there are about 1,000 plus serial killers who had cis parents. So we know that people can be fucked up no matter what. If they are raised in a transgender house, or if they're raised in a cis house. People can become fucked up either way. It just comes down to parenting. And make no mistake, this kid is living fantastically. I'm sure you all can understand that. I don't understand what the point of this tweet is, saying this is the saddest picture ever. Chris probably makes 7 figures a year working for MrBeast. He's the number 2 guy working there. This kid is going to be set for life and probably will never have to get an actual job, which is so fucking nice, man. But on top of that, Chris loves him. Like, how mentally unstable do you have to be to see this picture and be like, yeah, Chris hates his kid. He wants his kid to, like, you know, it's just weird, bro. And I also saw another thing on Twitter that I kind of want to talk about for a little bit. And I see some people think that being trans is like trendy or whatever, or being a man that like identifies as a woman, or, you know, in some shape or form wants to like experiment, I suppose, with their sexuality. People think that's like a trend. Like, that's so weird. Like, in what world is it trendy to be that when, you know, a hate tweet about Chris from a random Twitter user, not even a famous guy, has 60 million views and 130,000 likes? In my opinion, this is no different when for hundreds of years that gay people were criticized and killed just for being gay. And then when it became accepted in society and in a lot of places in the world, it still really isn't accepted. But even now in today's world where it is semi-accepted, a ton of people have come out as gay, and it's not because of it's like a trend or whatever. It's what these people have always felt, but they couldn't fully express it for hundreds of years because of the way society was back then. And it is no different today with trans folks or folks who want to experiment with their sexual identity. You may think there's a lot of people coming out as trans or whatever nowadays, but when it becomes truly accepted, and it's, in my opinion, it's not truly accepted, you know what I mean? Like, a tweet wouldn't get that many likes, and like people wouldn't be agreeing so much on like fuck Chris for, you know, just doing nothing that doesn't hurt anyone. So in my opinion, it's not accepted, and when it does become accepted, you're going to see a lot more people come out as trans, and that is not because it is trendy, it is just because it is more acceptable. If you talk to a younger version of myself, I would most likely also be on the side of these people hating on Chris, because that's just who I was when I was a younger person. I fell down this crazy pipeline of like everything has to be a certain way, nobody can deviate from it, you know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't crazy about it. I feel like I'm describing it like I was like a crazy person or whatever. I obviously wouldn't be a crazy person if I'm, you know, advocating for this today, but I was definitely in the mindset many years ago that trans people do have a mental illness, like Sneeko and himself and many others say. And eventually you grow up and you ask yourself, why the fuck do I even care? And that's a question I asked myself a long time ago, and yeah, now I just don't care. Like, I'm perfectly fine with people living their life, and I don't think they should get shit for it because it makes them happy. I also feel like this is more of a young person mindset, and I can make a ton of videos about this topic, but I feel like it's a very young person mindset to enjoy, you know, that you're like, I don't know how to describe this, but in like a certain sense, enjoy that like you're normal, you know what I mean? And like other people are not normal, and it's fun to be like, haha, look at you, you're so triggered about everything, you know, it's just silly shit like that. And when you grow up and you learn more about the world and you learn more about yourself, you realize that you're being like super immature. And again, back to my main point, why do I even care? Because it's not a big deal, it doesn't affect me, and it makes other people happy, and they are not hurting anyone in the process. So again, why do I care? So yeah, that was my take about it. I wanted to talk about this because I see this everywhere on TikTok and Twitter, and you know, I use this channel for whatever I want anyway. And I also talked about the MrBeast situation about a month ago, where he was getting a bunch of shit for donating a bunch of shoes to kids in Africa, which is an awesome thing. And you know, I discussed a bunch of things in that video, but just wanted to talk about this today, and that's my take. And if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks for watching.